Welcome to the show Eat with the Owner, Athena, right?
Yeah.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
And when we start, probably just introduce yourself a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I'm Athena. I'm an interpreter for Spanish and French and English, and a traveler, and a writer, and a tree climber. And that's about it.
Tree climber?
A climber of trees.
The zip line thing.
No, I just mean I like climbing trees. I also like doing acrobatics.
So when you climb tree, do you use some special tools?
No.
Just bare hands?
Just my hands.
Oh.
I don't do it as much as I did when I was a kid.
That's something. Amazing, you do a lot of things actually.
Just a few.
Yeah, actually, to save some time, like we just order the food first.
Sounds good. So do I get your recommendations?
Yeah, anything you want. It's all you can eat buffet today.
Fabulous.
If you cannot finish, you can bring back home a little bit.
I can tell you what I usually get. I usually get where is it? The spicy pork strips with the bamboo.
Okay.
And I've also gotten the eggplant dishes.
The next page, I guess.
Yeah, with the potatoes.
Okay.
But I want to try something new since I have you here to recommend things to me.
The green beans are always popular. The green beans. And actually, that one, the one you mentioned, probably changed it up. That one, actually, I really don't like that one.
You don't like the spicy pork strips? You were saying you were going to change it, right?
Yeah, I just did not have time because I have to work with the chef, the team to get their agreement to change the version.
So what's your favorite?
This one is not bad. The braised pork belly.
Oh, I think I tried that one. With the sweet
but it's a little bit
potatoes.
too greasy.
Maybe for me today.
And you can try the hot pepper beef. This one is always popular, hot pepper beef. It's a little bit spicy.
Yeah. I do eat spicy. I don't know if I want spicy now. Let's see.
The green beans is always good. We can add, if not spicy. The one you mentioned is a little bit spicy too.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to try General chicken?
Is that a test?
No, General chicken always popular. Even it's like North American, but it's a great invention. Great invention. How about the fish in tomato sauce? Sweet.
I think I don't want fish.
No fish.
I think I would do like pork or chicken or tofu.
Chicken, you can try Kung Pao chicken actually. That one not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit spicy, but not.
That would
much.
be a new one.
Yeah, Kung Pao chicken and then green beans, and then you can try another tofu. The sweet spicy fried tofu is not bad.
Okay.
Take that one.
That sounds like a good buffet.
Okay. You want one more? So 3 so far.
Oh wow.
You can try.
That's exciting.
The stir-fried cabbage is always good.
Oh yeah, I saw that was recommended. I would try that.
Okay.
All right.
Do that, and the rice as well, and we have a small sake. Okay. One, okay. And then, what is the memory is not good anymore. What is the first? Cabbage?
Oh, the first one? We said Kung Pao chicken?
Oh, yeah. Okay, great. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
Okay, I'll bring this to downstairs. And just wait a little bit, very quick.
I talked about all the controversial topics while you were gone.
Yeah.
We covered all of them.
Actually, you mentioned that like you just recently got your permanent residence in Canada.
I did.
Montreal. Congratulations.
Thank you.
But you were like originally from where?
From the U.S. From New Jersey in the United States.
So you born there, spent a lot of time there?
Yeah, I was born in New Jersey and spent most of my childhood and teenage years in New Jersey and New York.
Okay, and
Yeah.
since when you moved out, you
I've
try
been
to explore the
the world.
globe? Yeah.
I've been in Montreal for 8 years.
Wow, that's not bad.
Yeah, and then basically in my 20s and 30s, I've done a lot of traveling.
But why did you choose Montreal?
It's a
But your language is your strong point, right?
yeah. So I wanted to be more exposed to French, and I was in the mood for adventure, and I met a person, and I followed that person to Montreal.
Okay.
Yeah, the person and I are no longer together.
Okay. So that's the reason you kind of
That was the strong
yes,
impetus. Yes.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
How do you like Montreal so far? You will like it because the French, you're good at French.
Yeah, I really like the city. I don't consider myself to be a city sort of person,
Okay.
but I've been here for 8 years, and I really like the city. It's small enough that you can get to know the different neighborhoods and corners, and it doesn't take long to get from one place to another. And there's a lot happening in Montreal. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, a lot of things.
Yeah.
Especially during the summer, right?
Yes.
In downtown summer, it's like
Yes.
every day, it's multiple events.
Yes.
Summer,
all the time.
Yeah, it's a very interesting city. But I live way far.
Oh,
the
do
west.
you?
Yeah, yeah.
Where?
So downtown the West Island. So,
Oh, okay. So you have a commute here every day.
yeah, yeah.
How
So,
long does it take you to get here?
if you beat the traffic, it's not bad.
Okay.
Either you come very early or very late.
You drive?
Yeah, yeah. I drive every day very late. So going back is the not issue.
Okay.
Only the morning after I send my daughter to school. So
Yeah.
if it's lucky, not that bad.
Can you park around here?
Yeah, yeah. I rent indoor parking.
Oh, okay. Cool. I haven't had a car for 8 years since I moved to Montreal.
But before Montreal, you were traveling Europe somewhere.
So before Montreal, yeah, I've been to I've been around. I've been to Europe and also to Southeast Asia.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a different culture.
Yes.
You must have been exposed to a lot of crazy food there.
Yes. Yeah, that was really fun. Thailand was definitely my favorite. I went to Nepal, Thailand, India, and Bali. And
Bali is the country.
Indonesia. In Indonesia.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because the famous is island resort,
Yes.
right? Yeah. So is that the country?
I know, it's a little I'm not 100%, no.
That region is kind of like a lot of culture thing, like a very strong religion or some kind of that kind of culture.
Yes, I don't know enough or remember enough to like speak to it accurately right now. But it was very beautiful. And just all throughout the frangipani flowers. Have you seen the flowers? They're so pretty.
Wow, that's amazing. So you have seen a lot of part of the world.
What's traditional? Are we supposed to clink?
Yes, yeah,
Cheers.
Actually, it's not Chinese, though. It's Japanese.
Yeah. I still don't know what the tradition is.
Yeah, it's very popular.
Yeah.
It's very light. The sake is very light, so it's only, I guess it's 15%.
Okay.
15%.
All right.
It's
Well,
about
not too
the
bad
wine.
for 11:30 in the morning.
Yeah. Warm up.
Exactly. Yeah. What about you? Have you been around the world?
I was lucky. The first job, I grew up very poor, so I was lucky to have my first job out of campus is a very big company. Everybody knows worldwide, very famous one. They had a lot of overseas projects, so
Okay.
I was on the business trip to a lot of countries.
Okay.
So kind of free and
Yeah.
making extra money.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way they work, they give you extra bonus every day.
Oh wow.
Every day you stay.
For what kind of job?
It's a technology company.
Oh, okay.
So I'm very engineering background.
Yeah.
So that's why, I guess you are more on the art side, right? You have adventuring. Did you learn not engineering? I guess because engineering, I don't think you're gonna.
Yeah, I'm not an engineer.
So what did you learn? Or when you grow up, what kind of some people they want to become some kind of career, right?
I actually wanted to be an interpreter since I was 18.
Early.
Yeah, So I grew up monolingual. I only spoke English until I was about 16, and then I went to community college and I started learning Spanish, and then I started learning French. And I fell in love with languages, and I love that they opened a door to a new culture and to like a new world of people and everything. And so I wanted to do something practical with language, and the tracks that they offered you in college were linguistics, literature, or interpreting. And interpreting slash translation.
Okay.
And I really liked the interpreting piece of it because it was on the spot and active. And yeah, so I think before that, and I write as well, and I've always wanted to be a writer. So there's that as well.
So I guess probably a lot of people, they always follow their dream, or like, I guess probably you did not have the pressure to make money when you were young, right? Some people, if that's my observation. So
Yeah.
I grew up very poor. So
Yeah.
my first priority is to find a nice job.
Yeah.
So it's engineering, computer science.
Yeah.
It's the best chance. So for me, it's very straightforward. But for maybe people, the upbringing is different, so they're probably more relaxing.
I was lucky. I was privileged as a child and continue to be, and try to recognize that. So we were not pressured to grow up and find the money.
Find a stable job.
Right. But it was definitely, I mean, it was still something that I wanted. I wasn't just going to go, yeah, I don't know. I'm very business minded, I guess I would say. Yeah. I don't know if that answers your question.
No, it's just like want to know about yourself, I want to know about you. And but another thing, like, because I follow a lot of the way I improve my English, the way I listen to a lot of podcasts in the United States, and they always mention that what is some people graduate the community college university. What is the difference between community university and the regular university, like state university?
So community college is it's not the same, but it's almost like how we have CEGEP here in Montreal, which we don't have in the rest of Canada and in the US. But community college, for me, I was homeschooled. So I didn't go to elementary school or high school.
Really? Wow, so your mom must be really maybe against the system. Maybe.
Yes.
Really?
Yes, very counterculture, very anti-mainstream. Wow. My parents are very interesting. So I didn't go to school, and then what I did do was I went to community college to sort of fill in the gaps. Yeah. Ooh, yay, thank you.
Yeah, tofu.
Amazing.
Thank you. So they have like college 2 years?
So it's a 2-year college, exactly. And you can graduate with what's called an associate's degree, which is not the same as a bachelor's degree. So it's kind of like a gateway into college if you got bad grades in high school, or if you didn't go to high school, and it's also a lot cheaper. So
is that supposed to be free, right? It looks like community,
It's not free. It's not free, but it's much cheaper than a 4-year university. Okay. So what you could do is go for 2 years to community college and then transfer. And that's what I did.
So you have credits.
Exactly. Yeah. So I went from community college to a 4-year school, and some of my credits, they didn't take all of them. They were like, oh, that class doesn't count. That class doesn't count.
Still learning the language, right?
Yeah, at that point, because I started with French and Spanish there, and then I went to Rutgers University in New Jersey, and I added Arabic, but I wasn't able to get very far with 3 languages. So
even 2 at the same time.
Yeah.
Maybe the Spanish, French a little bit closer. You can find a similarity.
Yeah, yeah, which is its pros and cons. This looks amazing.
Yeah. Usually, we put things on this plate. I got to eat differently. Usually I put like a lot of rice on my plate. This one I don't eat a lot. I eat, like, as I said, the hot pepper beef. I eat a lot.
That's the kung pao?
Yeah, that's the kung pao chicken.
Oh, I see. You put the red. I want to copy you. Amazing. Thank you.
for me, just easier with a little bit rice and a little bit. So
I
it's
like
a mixer. It's like
I like it. Yay, food. Mm-hmm.
not bad, right?
Delicious.
Yeah. The tofu, all this is very popular, I guess. We remove a lot of items on the menu, so the left is they're supposed to be a little bit popular. A lot of people order. When you start learning a language like at 16, but how do you get that very fast to a very high level?
By being an exceptional nerd. I was very determined. And I think also I tried other languages, and I think Spanish was the right time, right place, right brain space.
Okay.
So I studied it in college, and then I knew I needed to be exposed to it because I had learned it in the books. Like I hadn't really talked to real people in the language. So then I researched opportunities for after college, and I applied to a few different things. And what I ended up doing was spending a year in Honduras, in Central America.
Jeez, Honduras.
Yeah. And that was an experience. That was like me fresh out of college. And I was teaching as a volunteer in a bilingual school. So it basically offered local children the chance to study in English as well as in Spanish, which would give them more opportunities.
Yeah. I guess English is a very highly demanded language.
For better or for worse,
yeah,
that's
exactly.
yes. And so I was actually speaking quite a bit of English during the day, which was unfortunate. But then in the evenings, what I ended up doing was I found a Honduran roommate.
Okay.
And so then she and I were friends, and we lived together. And there was one morning that I realized we had been speaking in Spanish for 2 hours, and I hadn't noticed.
Wow.
And that was the day that I was like, okay, this is it. And like, I mean, you spend your life trying to learn a language, you know that. Like,
you know what is the indication when I felt I was comfortable with English?
Mm-hmm.
It's the first time I dreamed in English.
Mm-hmm.
The next morning I woke up like, I thought I had a dream in English, like the conversation in English.
Yes.
That's the first time, like about 10 to 15 years. Then I realized maybe all these years I've been trying really hard to learn English. Then somehow you get really like comfortable with that.
Yeah.
If it appears in your dream, so I guess that's the moment I feel, oh.
That's the moment, for sure. It's a good feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, but also like some people say like to learn you learn both French and Spanish. Looks like Spanish is easier comparing to French. Is that true?
I think so.
Really, a lot of people are saying it's like more easy to, as long as you say it right or whatever. It's like a little bit.
Well, Spanish
rules.
Spanish is pronounced the way it looks. Yeah. It follows rules, and French does not do that. And so I don't know. For me, I've never really known. I started with Spanish, and I don't know if it's just because like I started with it that it felt more comfortable for me. But I was always like Spanish first and then French. And then being here now, my French has gotten better, but I still feel like it's a struggle.
Yeah, but the French, I spent almost 20 years learning French myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like...
And how's it going?
Really bad. But it's like I just did not put enough, but I did try. I spent a lot of hours also, but it's really frustrating because I'm self-learning, so really frustrating. But the grammar or the, I spend a lot of time learning the grammar. So it's very kind annoying. Of programming, you know, when you are the engineering background, so you like reading, you know, what the rules of this or that. So you kind of, it's okay to accept, but the listening part is just kind of crazy.
I know, it's so hard. And there is a piece of it that's engineering, but there's also a piece of it that is like intuition and almost forgetting about the analytical part of your brain.
And also they have a lot of rules, but also they have a lot of exceptions.
Yes.
That's really frustrating.
Yes.
If you go all rules, like I learned the programming language, so it's great. It's invented by a programmer. Looks like, right?
Right.
Because you have this, you have always ending like this, and then like somebody invented the language. Must be a programmer, like setting up all this kind of lot of rules. Just your rules like very long. But then at the same time, you have a lot of exceptions.
Yes. It is not. Yeah.
And then okay. And then whatever you say, it's a lot of.
So your English is better than your French?
Not better. My French is, if you have grade 10, I probably 0.5.
Oh, man.
So I claim I speak some French.
So what brought you to Montreal?
It's like when I was, the first job is really nice job. So when I had a chance to see different part of the world, different countries, so for me it's easier to. I try to American culture for me is a really big thing. I really like American culture. But over
when you
time,
say American culture, do you mean like television or like?
At the beginning, like I was born in '79. So that time, like that generation, we graduated around year 2000.
Yeah.
Like 2000, 2001, those years. So the college students, I guess that time everybody was learning English by watching sitcom, like Friends. Friends is everybody knows Friends.
Which P.S. I didn't watch until years later because I had no television growing up.
The Friends, I guess the people around my time, everybody like Friends.
Mm-hmm.
And also that time was still the cassette tapes.
Yes, I remember cassette tapes.
So we learned English, the listening part, like even sometimes the speeches from Bill Clinton that time.
Oh wow!
Right? So that either watching, but then after that will be Desperate Housewife, those kind of shows. But at the beginning, even today, I guess still Friends very popular in China.
Do you like reality television?
Reality, it falls apart really quick. But even in Shenzhen, there was a Chinese version that is probably dubbed. Like The Apprentice was very popular in China.
Okay.
And another is a Supermodel.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
Tyra
Banks?
Tyra Banks.
Yeah, Tyra Banks.
Mm-hmm.
She was that program was very popular.
Top model.
Around the Top Model, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's around 2003, 2004, around that time.
It's still going.
Really?
Yeah, well, at least last I checked, like they were in their 20th season. Yeah.
When I was that time, me and my wife, no kids, we had a lot of spare time, and we followed, I guess, also another reality show called So You Think You Can Dance. Mm-hmm. That was pretty good. A lot better than Dance with Stars. Mm-hmm. So it's real technique or something. So when we had a lot of time, we were following that a lot. But then, kids, restaurants, no time for any. And even the same time, the reality show was dying, right?
Yeah.
It's natural, so just like the same track. So we're not following either. So.
Yeah. How many kids do you have?
Only one daughter. Yeah, language is a big thing. For me, I spent a lot of time learning.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Forever.
Yeah. For me, it's like a window to see to get information.
It is.
Yeah. So if I can speak a lot of French, that would be even amazing.
Yeah.
So, I'm still working on it.
Yeah. Do you have people that you speak French with?
No, not that level yet. They're going to be super bored.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's hard. It's hard to be at that in-between level because you need to talk to be able to get it.
Yeah, even when my daughter was very, very, she was a baby, because she always get education in French here, public school or the daycare. So she was, at the beginning, I was kind of catching up with her a little bit French. Then she was way too ahead.
Wow.
She was trying when she was 5 or 6. Was trying to teach me French,
Oh.
but then I guess she gave up too. She just.
I'm jealous of little children who are just like you put them in a place and they'll learn the language.
She just realized that dad is too dumb for that.
You already speak English and Mandarin, right?
Yeah, Mandarin.
That's a lot already.
Yeah, the difference between the two is kind of too big.
Yeah. Yes.
It is still like for us, like because in Chinese we don't differentiate between masculine or feminine, like she or he.
Right.
That's why the first few years when we speak Chinese English, we always like
saying the wrong one.
Yeah, wrong one. Right now it's very big trouble in the United States. It's super misgender. we just because in our language it's pronounced exactly the same.
It's so interesting, and it really speaks to you see a culture through its language because it also shows what's important and what isn't.
Yeah.
Like different emphasis on different things, or like the fact that it doesn't matter. Because you think about it, you have to establish what somebody's gender is at a particular time to speak a certain way.
But in Chinese language, the pronunciation there's no gender. It's always the same. But then when we start learning French, so they put a gender everywhere.
Oh, I know.
That's crazy.
No, it's very hard. And for me too, because English doesn't do that.
Yeah, exactly. But in this environment, the cultural environment, like the misgendering will be really hard in French. You cannot imagine, like, how do they deal with that situation?
When I was in college, I wanted to do a project where the idea would be to study language. Okay, for example, in Spanish, if you have a group of women and men, if there's one man,
you always
refer to everybody.
I know that.
And I wanted to research somehow, but I don't think I knew what I was doing, and I didn't have professors who were particularly helpful, so it didn't really go very far. But I wanted to see what impact that has. Just at a subtle level, to be lumped into another group of people, because it's showing the balance of power. Anyway, I didn't get very far with that, but I wanted to research it because I think it's really interesting, and it's hard to know what's chicken versus egg. Is it reflective of a society that values men over women, or do you start valuing men over women when you have that? And also, it's all societies, so there's that too.
Yeah, I'm wondering how do they deal with that in France right now?
Yeah. Well, a lot of the languages are starting to get some interesting gender neutral terms. Like in Spanish now, you can say instead of todas or todos, which is feminine version of everyone is todas. Todos is the masculine version. Todes is the all-inclusive, any gender sort of thing. And I think why not do that? Regardless of your feelings on transgender, why is it so important for us to distinguish who somebody is based on what genitalia they have?
But for the language learner, that could be extra task.
Yes, that is true. Stick just with the traditional.
Exactly. We need to learn 2 words. Now we need to learn 3 words.
Too many words.
No, it's for us it's very simple. Always we call ta means the third person.
Mm-hmm.
Just ta.
Yeah. Wait, say that again? What about the third person?
Just ta, ta.
Ta.
Yeah, ta. Yeah.
And what is that?
The third person, she or he.
Okay. And you always use it, you said?
Always use it.
Even when you're talking to somebody?
Yeah.
So
ta, mentioning somebody else.
Okay. So we're talking about somebody else and it's always ta. Yeah, so easy.
Doesn't matter.
So why does everyone say that Mandarin's so hard to learn?
The problem is writing, I guess. Because the writing is all you need to do. It's a Lego. You need to put those things all.
Is that really the only problem? Is the writing? Everything else is easy?
I think speaking should be fine because always repeating. You just put them different sequence, different order. So the only certain amount of things. The English most words it's English. They have vocabulary. They have things for a word for everything.
Right.
Yeah, so you need to memorize a lot of different words.
Right.
But in Chinese, probably we have people say only 5,000 maximum total.
Oh my gosh! I should learn Chinese.
Yeah.
Nobody told me this.
It's easy to speak.
Huh.
But not easy to read or write.
Because I like learning new scripts. I that's the only thing I retained from Arabic. I learned now I want to say the numbers in Hebrew is coming out. Wahid, Ithnan, Thalatha, Arba. That's how you say the numbers. I learned that, and I learned how to say how are you, but I learned the alphabet. And I'm learning Ukrainian right now, and I'm learning the alphabet there.
This people say once you master one language, one foreign language, you probably the others you probably open the door for you. It's easier. There's a little trick, so you see it through.
You understand the process.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I know, okay, I'm gonna be a fool for several years, and once you're done being a fool, you'll know how to speak the language. It's a direct relationship to how foolish you're willing.
For Chinese, I think like it's repeating. Like it's a lot of logic. You just put a one after another the word. There's no kind of special order or something. So there's no you have to put this in front, backwards, or something. Just like you just put them one by one. So
like, tell me, like, I don't know, like, she eats the delicious food.
Exactly. She gonna be 她吃 means eat. 她吃 delicious food.
And you don't need a the. You don't have articles, right?
Nope. But it's a very simple thing. It's like my mother does. If you don't get education, my mother does not read or write. And she speaks perfect language. So it's.
Was she not able to go to school?
No, that time that time was really bad. So nobody, maybe 1% of the whole population went to some kind of school. That was 60 years ago when she was young. So a lot of people especially that's why I grew up very poor is the countryside.
Wow. So then, was it hard to be able to get to where you did with the engineering, or is it like you did well in school and you were able to do it?
I guess the whole country is changing. That time, we still have the national standard test called SAT, whatever. But it's nationwide.
Okay.
So 20-some years ago, I was in that test. The year after the senior high school, you go through that test. As long as you do well, you're going to be accepted by some universities. So that was 1997, the year. I did pretty well, so I went to a school like Tsinghua was about top 10 of the whole country university. So
amazing.
So that time was more fair, I guess. But the different region, even the same university, different region, they require different scores. It's kind of how they balance. Probably it's they have their own way of the plan to get certain amount of students from each provinces. Yeah. So on my province, you can apply to a lot of universities in different provinces. They have their own rules. They have their own to qualify for that university to be accepted. You have to for this year you have to have this score. Okay. So I was lucky to get to a good university. So that time, if you're from a really poor background, that's your best chance. Wow. And it's an easy way to, after that, you get good university and a good major, and then easily go to a good company. That time, 2001, I graduated. So 4 years was very easy. That's good. Yeah, right. Also, that time, China was booming. So right. It's right after the WTO. Yeah. So a lot of opportunities that's why you have to be lucky. So that time, the big companies, they go to the campus. Even several months before you graduate, they sign the contract with you already. Wow. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty nice. So the second year after in the company, they sent me everywhere. So I realized, my English is not good enough. So I spent a lot of time after that. Yeah. Yeah, you think that I remember I was in Honduras actually, and somebody's dad came to visit us, and he was from Cuba, and I couldn't understand a word that he said. And here I've spent 4 years learning the language and studying it deeply in college. It was my major, and I couldn't understand anything. Accent? Yeah, the island Spanish is very different from the other Spanish-speaking places, and I'm most comfortable with Central American Spanish, and also South America and Mexico, island Spanish is still the hardest, and it's different. Cuba is different from Dominican Republic, which is different from Puerto Rico. They all have its accents, but it's also slang, and it's also I think a lot of it is accent. Half the words won't get pronounced. It's challenging for sure. last night there was a family from London actually. I had a chat with them because I visited London twice. I stayed several months in London. So that was 2003.
Okay.
So before that, I went to the trip. Some company sent me towards Cairo, Egypt. So that time, it was 2002. I was in Cairo. So that time, my English was my second language. The company we had the business with, the engineers, the English is their second language as well. So we had a good conversation. Every time we get idea exchanged, everything done.
Yeah.
So I felt pretty good.
Yeah.
So I thought my English is not bad.
Yeah.
So then 2003, I was sent to London. And then the team, they kind of hand over the project to me.
Right.
Give me the cell phone, same number.
Oh boy.
The customer called me. Somebody called me, I received a call. The second day or the first day I arrived. So I received a call and I didn't understand. I said pardon. And then he repeated and then I said pardon again. 3 times I did not get nothing.
Oh no.
It's so I even did not, it's a wrong call now. It's not
Right.
for this project or not.
Right.
So that's really crazy. So I get 0 from that conversation.
Oh no.
With the accent, my level of English was really bad.
No, but it's so hard.
Yeah, 2003. That right after that, I got a radio receiver.
Okay.
I went to the store and I kind of listened to, when I was working,
Radio's
to listen
good.
to the BBC radio
Yes.
all the time.
Yes.
And then, like when I went back to Shenzhen, the company, after a few months, you always go to the headquarters.
Yeah.
Go back. So that time I was reading English books every day. Yeah. Even in Montreal, like when I took the train to the downtown to go to the office,
Yeah.
I work in IT. So I was always reading the novel books.
Yeah. I bought a radio off of Amazon and I listen to like Quebec radio stations and get a lot of like Quebec news, and also when I was learning Spanish back in the day, I would listen to radio in the car, and that was really helpful because you get like, because people talk naturally on the radio, not all the time, like sometimes it's newscasters and it's all professional, but when they're interviewing people or they're having banter back and forth, they go quickly. And I don't know if this happens to you, but like you're getting everything until they tell a joke, and then you have no idea why everyone's laughing.
Because they have the background story.
Yeah, it's just like, what? I want to try the cabbage.
Yeah, that's the visiting in London gave me the shock, just pushed me to change me completely.
Yeah, but it's not easy. Like it's now I'm 20 years in with both of my languages, and it's still not easy.
I think my English is okay, but last night the family, I could tell right away they're from British.
Yes.
They're British, like the accent still, but I still have I can do the conversation with them.
Yes.
So some of them not 100% sure, but we had a good conversation.
I'm not always 100% sure. Don't feel bad.
So it's kind of, it's helped me a lot. That event, it's amazing. That phone call just changed my whole thing about the language.
Yeah, I remember like phone calls too when I first got to Honduras, we had to call the parents. And each of the parents of all of the students that we were going to be with, like we're supposed to go visit their houses and everything. And I also really struggled to understand what they were saying. And then they would give you their address, and the address would be 2 blocks down from the market to the left at the hay bale, like that. And so like you'd end up lost always. But then you like stop and you're like, where's Rigoberto's house? And then somebody would know where Rigoberto's house was.
It's funny they give the directions. The city I went to, the university called Tianjin City. The people there, you ask directions, right? They don't tell you north, east, or south. They always use left, right. That's the only city, probably only city most people they tell directions by left or right.
Right.
You always forget. They tell turn left and then right, left, right, all the way like left, right. There's no. At the end, after several years, 4 years, I realized like the street not straight. The street always like go different directions. So that's why they don't use the directions.
Right. Because it twists around.
Yeah, twists all the time. So they always tell you left, right, several times. That gave me a lot of trouble. A lot of people from outside of the city.
Yeah.
It's crazy. A lot of left, right. It's very interesting. learning language is crazy for me. But now it's thanks to the podcast. It's like when you try to improve the language, always the conversation has to be really clear, right?
Yeah.
So and then all the time talking. So there's no like action or moving around. So it's always like a conversation. So right now, that's why I guess a lot of American, their podcast is very popular as well.
Yeah.
I believe like people probably from non-English speaking countries, maybe Brazil, or they try to improve English. It's a great way. For me, it's really great.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of podcasts.
I do the same thing. I have and mostly Spanish and French, and then sometimes English too, because some of them I like in their English, but whenever I can, that's a good idea.
Oh, actually, you're from New Jersey, but still you can vote as well, right?
I just did yesterday.
Wow, it's like you can mail in or?
Yeah, and it was complicated. I called the elections office 3 times to make sure I was doing it right.
Okay.
Because they'll disqualify a ballot if there's anything wrong with it. So months ago, I emailed them to get my absentee ballot. Then I emailed them again because I never heard back. And then a couple months ago, I received it. And then I was like, oh, I have all the time in the world. And then all of a sudden last week, suddenly I had an unexpected move. So I'm packing up all of my things, including my printer. And then I'm like, wait a second, I have to do my absentee ballot. Like the election's actually in 2 weeks. And it takes a week for mail to get from Canada to the US.
Okay.
So I emailed it. I scanned and emailed it with the cover page and the waiver of the secret ballot, because my ballot isn't secret anymore, because now it goes through email and someone's going to see it. And then I had to follow that up by mailing all of those forms to New Jersey.
But New Jersey always blue, right?
Yeah. My vote didn't really.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Right?
That's assuming you know what my politics is.
But is that interesting? In New Jersey, some states you have to register first, right? Why do they have to register?
Well, it depends on who you ask. But there are.
You just give the voters extra steps, extra trouble.
No, it's a problem. In the United States, we do not make it easy for people to vote. And there's always a reason for that. It's because they don't want poor people to vote, and they don't want disenfranchised people to be voting. Because if everybody voted, it would be different.
But if you, for example, you just Canada is very simple.
Yes.
Once you become a citizen, they're going to make sure there's an election Canada. They make sure you're on their list. If you wait before any election, you're on when you apply the citizenship, they give you, they're going to send you election Canada, that thing. So you're on the roll already. You don't have to fill a form.
Right.
But I have been in the election a lot of times. But Canada is very simple. You just the day you go there, use your ID.
Yeah.
You show the ID. Everybody has the ID, and then you kind of check, go to a booth, check. Everything is paper. Canada is very straightforward.
Yeah.
Same day. Yeah, same day. Everything.
Did people get a day off from work to vote in Canada?
4 hours, I guess. 4 hours.
I don't think we do in the U.S.
Yeah, 4 hours.
Maybe we get a few hours. We definitely don't get the day. And that's another thing. Yeah. It's then, who's privileged enough to be able to get to their voting center, and then are they harassed when they try to vote?
I think it should be 4 hours should be fine. Canada is never been an issue with the voting, never.
Yeah.
The problem people did not want to vote.
Yeah. Well, isn't Australia
because you go through the absentee ballot.
Absentee ballot, yeah.
For you go through a lot of scanning. It's very difficult, but Canada is very easy. The problem is people don't want to. If you want to, it just takes you you go to the voting center. It's only a few blocks. Where you live is only a few blocks.
Yeah.
Take you 10 minutes there.
Well, and that was the same when I lived in New Jersey. I just walked a few blocks. Yeah. I voted. I came home. I don't think I ever had to wait more than a little while. But it also depends on where you live. And that's the other thing. In the U.S., there's a lot of, because some people are far from their voting centers, and maybe they have a job all the way on the other side of town, and they don't get time off.
They should have half day off. Canada is not bad. It's 4 hours at least.
Well, there are countries who require their citizens to vote. You actually get a fine if you don't vote.
Yeah, I heard that.
I think that makes sense. Because then people have to participate, and there can't be this feeling of my vote doesn't matter.
In Montreal, especially if you mayor, only less than 30%, I guess, for the mayor election, only less than 30% people voting. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So
Well, and I have to admit, so I went to vote for the president, right? But of course, there's like two other lines.
yeah, for the Senate or the
Right.
or the
And I don't know anything about these people. So then you are like trusting party lines at that point because
but you can leave that blank or
I could have, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's I follow American stuff as well. It's very weird. Sometimes they're arguing about voter ID, they're arguing
Right.
about the paperback, but it's so simple. Canada is very simple. There's no room for any kind of misbehavior. It's very simple. Canada is very. Everybody has this slip of paper and you fold it, put it there. Everything is on the paper. It's very simple. And then it took them very short time, like 2 hours, 3 hours. We finished at 8, I believe. So
I'm sorry, go ahead.
you finish 8, so you have to go there before 8 o'clock.
Right.
And 10 o'clock, the result is already out. So
Oh.
they're counting the paper. So simple.
Yeah.
I don't understand why it's like because I listen a lot of stuff. It's amazing. Like, why do they have to use the scanning machine to do the tabulation? It's not saving you introduce a lot of uncertainty.
Well, and that's the point. It's creating. It's like, there could be problems,
exactly.
So now let's all get upset.
You introduce extra possibilities.
Yeah.
You know, Canada is very simple. I guess even France, they all paper. It's very simple. People doing this for centuries, right? It's very simple. There's no any. Even we fight a lot in Canada as well. Trudeau and we have Liberal Party and Conservative and NDP.
Yes.
So there's nobody dispute anything because it's paper there. If you and also like I got a vote with ID. Your name shows on that. Like we go there, you go to a voting station. You receive a mail saying like you're going to this station. You go there. You give them ID, your name. They're gonna check on the list. They just cross or you voted already. Right. Simple. Like.
Well, this is a bigger problem, and it's getting worse in recent. I would say in the last two.
Crazy. Yeah, I heard that. Like people. They lost their mind?
No, but listen, this is what's behind it. It's this thing about not only like we argue with each other. That's primordial and happened since forever. But we're more and more in our isolation bubbles, so we're not listening to the other side. And then we're told to doubt the structure itself. Because if you damage people's faith in the electoral process, like and in democracy itself, and
the college system, I think that's reasonable. Actually, it's very interesting because the small state or swing state, they have more power. That's it's like in Canada's parliamentary system is even different, but they count all votes for that representative. We vote for representative, not vote for prime minister.
So, I know that's so interesting. Because I didn't grow up in a
but our system, there's a system is like universal. Everybody vote count to select. There's other system, but comparing to the college system, I think both of them have their good part and bad part. But that part, I don't think there's a big problem with that part. The problem is like you have to, maybe just to use the paper, simple paper, and then everybody check the ID. You have driver license, everybody either driver license, either your any medical card ID, anything.
But it's purposeful. Like this is my point because I don't like the electoral college is a different thing. I would have to like root through my brain to find my opinion on that.
That one is nothing. That one is good.
But I'm talking about like doubting the rules of democracy because if you start to say no, the game is unfair or like it's rigged or it's
the game is fair. It's
right. Well, if you plant that seed, and that's what I'm hearing more and more is both one, we can't trust the system, and two, there is no truth. Have you heard that one before?
No. I think the system is good. It's very solid, especially I come from China.
Right.
It's like
because you've seen other things.
Yeah, and also the Canadian election system is pretty solid. You can see even the Taiwan last time they had the election. It's like because the Chinese character, like this one, it means square. This one have 5 strokes. This square have 5 strokes. When we're in the primary school in the class, you elected the person in charge, right? All the students you have elect.
Okay.
So there's a blackboard, and you always candidates. This girl, this boy go up candidate, and then we vote. And when we vote, we write with the chalk, and write on the blackboard. always under this name we write this character because you have 5 strokes.
Okay.
So if you have, like, for example, you finish 5 or 4 characters, that means you have 20 votes. And then the last one may not be complete. So you see first, second, stop right there. So you see 3. So it will be 4 full character plus 3. So you have 23 votes.
Okay.
And that's what we used to be. Like when I was 10,
right.
11, so we always elect our own, the people in charge we call monitor, right?
Right.
The monitor of the class. So that we use that character.
Okay.
So when you usually, like, you read all the votes, when both people looking at what you read is correct or not, and then another person in charge write and that character and your name. It's really simple like that.
Yeah.
And then also like supervise. Everybody was saying like what you're reading is correct or not, right? And then the last election in Taiwan, they broadcast live on TV. They're doing the counting. It's amazing. They use the same character. And then I was shocked, like, wow, that's like our school.
Yeah.
Because it's very transparent.
Yeah.
And then you have bring one paper from the polling box, and then reading it, and then this name, and you get 1 stroke, another name, 1 stroke. Done. Nobody questioning nothing. You lose, you win. And fair and square. Transparent. Writing is broadcast live on YouTube. That's Taiwan. Paper.
Well, should bring that to Venezuela.
It's amazing. It's just because it reminds me like that character, like I did not know, oh, Taiwan, they use that character too. Oh, they speak same Chinese.
Oh man.
That's really amazing.
Have you been to Taiwan?
Nope, not yet. Yeah. Busy.
Yeah.
But what happens in the United States is very, very interesting.
Do you follow what happens in South America?
No, that's very, very hard.
It's also very interesting.
Yeah. But the Spanish is very hard. Or Portuguese in Brazil. I was in Rio de Janeiro for 4 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The complete assembly there, the Portuguese.
But you could listen to it in English. Wouldn't there be English news about South America or no?
I even don't follow too much French, the Canada news, because
I've been ignoring the American election.
Yeah. But is that expressing the temperature in a teapot? Mm-hmm. That expression.
Yeah.
Because what happens if you are not powerful in political system, you are not powerful country. So what happens in your country does not impact a lot. So what happens in the United States, they impact a lot. They have huge influence in the world. Canada would have who Trudeau win or lose, the different prime minister, the same thing. You don't expect a lot of difference. Nobody even cared, I guess, outside of. But it does matter. Like you have education system, your kids, the healthcare system. Some people the new politicians, new leaders, they have the new ideas. They change a little bit about your daily life, but overall the security, the country in the world, it doesn't matter too much. It's too quiet. It's not so much fun.
I know.
They don't fight that hard. It's like entertainment. Like if you have a UFC or whatever in the ring, they're too nice to each other, right? The two fighters too nice to each other. It's not fun.
Oh man, I don't know. I can't handle. I can't follow politics in my own country. It's like too painful.
But it's most entertaining. It's very, very.
That's what I hear.
It's good for people all over the world to learn English. Seriously. It's
oh my god.
It's a great way because you have to generate interest. I guess that's why my guess is one of the reasons United States is so influential. Because everybody learning English. Also, what happens in your country doesn't matter it's ugly or good or beautiful. It's still fun. It's interesting. So you have selling points. Always the focus. Attention always on you.
Right.
If you're a boring person, you are very kind, nice. Nobody even look at you, right? But if you're controversial, you have a lot of stories every day happening. Things like lightning happening around you every day.
Yes,
people
you get the buzz.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. But if you live there, you may feel the pain every day. But from outside, it's a show.
Right.
It's a good show.
Yeah. But I don't know. But it doesn't like get you annoyed.
No, not doesn't upset me because it's a good. For me, it's like it's a good way to. Otherwise, if you're listening to, you want to improve your listening part because your like knowledge about things, and if it's too boring, you fall asleep.
No, it's true. You have to be interested in the thing you're listening to.
So it's more.
Actually, that was because I don't like commercials. I don't like it when people are trying to sell me things.
Yeah.
But when I'm learning a new language, I'm like, okay, this is cool because I'm trying to like understand the things they're saying. And I think that another point for like when you've dominated a language is when you start getting irritated at the commercials instead of enjoying them. But yeah, I'll tolerate more in another language.
For me, I don't listen to Chinese as well.
Okay.
Because that's maybe the same thing. You want to listen to much English as well. I don't feel like I need to improve my Chinese. Also, another theory is like if you look at things not too familiar, you always to find the good things about it.
Interesting.
Yeah. If you're too familiar, you know by your heart, you're always very picky.
Yeah.
There's probably little tricks there or here. But if you look at something you don't know or know somehow, and you always kind of benefit of doubt.
Yeah.
Always say, pretty people in good intention.
Yeah.
That's why I sometimes like staying in an environment I'm not fully understanding.
Yes. Yes, it's better that way.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
If you know everything, it's a little bit boring.
You know everything.
Yeah.
I have that problem where like I get to know things too well and then I see the bad things and then nobody wants to hear about those things. Yeah, I'm not everybody's best friend. It's very, very interesting. I follow a lot of American stuff, but they are comedy too. But if one day if I can fully understand their comedy in English, that would be really great. Yes, I feel the same way. Yeah. I try to watch like because you can watch Netflix specials in. A
lot of comedies.
Yeah, and I try to watch, and I'll try to watch without subtitles, and I'll try to watch with subtitles. And it's hard, the comedy, but I get a lot of the jokes.
Also, it's a lot of you have to know something happened, even the people's name.
Yeah.
They mentioned somebody in the past, in the 50s or 60s. Everybody knew their name, but I don't.
Yeah.
They were laughing like crazy.
No, you're not going to get every single reference ever. Yeah, even in your own language, in your own culture, but it definitely gets harder in other people's languages and cultures.
Yeah, my language right now, in the last 20 years, there are a lot of internet slangs.
Yes.
Expressions, something happened I did not know.
Yeah. And the same is happening in English. Netflix is helpful because you'll get the shows that teach you the slang.
But when you do the translation, do you feel like the pressure from from AI?
Oh, from AI. So AI
is doing pretty good on that front.
Okay, this has been a debate like ever since I joined the profession, and we knew that AI was coming. And what I have heard is that we would not be among the first to be replaced. That there would be others replaced. And the thing is, translation has come a long way. Written translation, you plunk a text into AI and it will generate a fairly decent, not without its problems, but it will generate something that is quite like a good starting point, let's say. But when you get to spoken speech, like we've just been talking about for this whole conversation, the nuances, the sarcasm, the tone, the pronunciation, AI is far from being able to get. I mean, if you think of how hard it is when you still talk to Siri and ask Siri to like turn on your, I don't know, well, the lights or whatever. Like
I never use Siri.
So, but like those kinds of technologies, like they're very limited, and people are paying billions of dollars for them to get better every single day. So it's not that it's out of the question, but it takes a lot. It's a lot of different things that go into interpreting. And beyond all of that, it's the implementation. So let's say today the best AI technology was developed. I work in the courts. It would take quite a while, I think, for the courts to agree that they're all going to adopt this non-human solution. Like, things take time. So maybe I'll be replaced, but hopefully by then I can retire.
Are you working in the Montreal court?
I don't work in the Montreal courts. What happened was my certifications, I got them in the US. And so when I got here, it was going to be very challenging to like kind of get the same certification in Montreal. And I wanted to focus on conference interpreting, which is, I don't know how much you know about interpreting, but I'm trained in 3 different fields, basically: medical interpreting, court interpreting, and conference interpreting. And each of those has their own requirements and their own sort of standards and codes of ethics and like educational requirements. And I had already done quite a bit of court interpreting when I came to Montreal. What I really want to do, like conference interpreting is what you would see at the UN, for example.
But the people they wearing that earpieces,
yeah,
is some people, the person translating at the back?
That's me sitting a little booth
really?
in the back.
Wow.
Yeah, with a microphone. Or like one of my many colleagues.
That's only like 1 second delay, right?
It's very, so...
Synchronized, right?
So what you call it is décalage. Like if you're the main speaker, you start your thought. I wait until I hear enough of the thought that I can take that and start transforming it into the other language while I'm listening to your next thought. So I'm juggling thoughts.
That's even possible.
C'est impossible.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, how do you...
C'est fou comment ça like that.
I thought like that's like that's crazy. So you don't have to give you the transcript to do that.
So sometimes they will give you a speech, and that's very helpful. But you also have to know what to do with that speech, because you can get lost if you're just like looking at that and trying to listen. So the best thing you can do is find it beforehand. You get to know the topic, you understand the topic, you look up troublesome terminology, you have it on hand, and maybe you get a translation of it so that you can follow along as they're speaking. But you've done that in advance. Like a lot of the work with interpreting is to prepare in advance, that you know the topic and that you have kind of tricks to deal with those moments when you don't understand what's being said, or like you don't have the right word, and like what are you going to do in that moment, because they're not stopping for you.
In China, before we were selecting the major, they said this translation interpreting is very, very high paid. It's like in China before they said
it can be, yes.
Yeah, the hourly rate is crazy.
Yeah,
because it takes really high skills.
Yeah, I mean, I've been studying it for a decade and a half, and yeah, it takes a lot of training to do it well, and I don't always do it well, like, you know, even with all of that training, but like I have the coping mechanisms and I'm able to get through.
But if somebody like a speaker said really bad things, sometimes you have to translate as well.
Yeah, so it's interesting kind of what setting you're in, like diplomatic settings versus
like these 2 countries, they really bad at They really said even some cursing, or you have to translate that too to stay to the truth.
I can't speak to diplomatic interpreting because that takes a whole nother skill set that I won't pretend to be an expert at.
Even the business,
Well, so what I can tell you, like in court interpreting, if somebody stands up and says something really offensive right in front of the judge, you say the exact really offensive thing right in front of the judge. And I've said it before, like I've interpreted swear words all over the character, or like they'll have text messages with really obscene things for a domestic violence situation or something like that. And so, yeah, you don't change it, and you're not supposed to change it. But I know that when you're working like with heads of state or that sort of thing, like there's usually, from what I understand, like there'll be 2 interpreters, like one from each place, right? And I don't know, like how if they end up watering things down, or if they really would just let the insult fly, like because the whole thing about interpreting is you're always told you are supposed to interpret everything that's said exactly as it's said, but there are, depending on the environment you are in, there are different standards, let's say.
Yeah, that must be interesting.
Yeah.
I guess before there's one guest on with me doing the video. She's Chinese. She do the translation on in the court in Montreal.
Oh wow!
Between Chinese and French.
Nice. Yeah, it's it's hard. It's very stressful.
I went there several times also, like the traffic ticket, like those kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's very impressive. The court system, very impressive.
Yeah.
But you find all the judges, most of them ladies now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I went, all of them ladies. I went several times.
Yeah, I was in, I can interpret remotely for the New Jersey courts, and they're very diverse. There was like there's female judges. I've seen, like all different sort of backgrounds, and that's good. I mean, I think that we should have diversity be represented by the people in authority.
And the process is very, very impressive. Yeah, last time I got the vehicle registration. It's really crazy. If you forgot, they send you the mail. If you forget to pay in time, the police stop you, supposed to be able to tow your car, and then give you, I guess, 450 or 500 plus administration fee or something. Crazy.
That's ridiculous.
And you have good stand. Also, we pay every time your life and everything up to date. And you just forget to pay that registration. They treat you like criminal.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's non-negotiable, and it's like at the end plus everything probably about $500 to $106.
So did you fight it?
Yeah, I fought it because I got the same thing twice, 2 years in a row. Because the first time, because I moved, right? I moved, I did not receive that mail. So when I paid that fine, I was okay to pay that 500 something fine as AQ. So I said, okay, I forgot that one. Could you please update the address? So they're supposed to update the second year, happened the same thing. Yeah, somehow they didn't know, some communication lost, or the clerk did not do the job properly. So they got the same thing. So I just feel like this is not my fault. But then the judge told me, it's even you did not receive, they did not send to you, it's your responsibility to check. You know, if you haven't received it by that time, it's your responsibility to see something wrong. You can call them to find out. You know, but then said, it's during the pandemic actually. I said, it's pretty bad right now. Everybody's stressed. Then the lady judge gave me like $200 off discount. Like,
wow.
Yeah, but you're still guilty. You know, it's your responsibility. Even they send you the wrong mail address.
I didn't realize that my insurance card expired until the other day. I had to make an emergency doctor's appointment, and I call up, and they're like, when does your card expire? And I take it out, and I'm like, December 2023. And then I was like, oh no. And now it's a whole process to get it renewed again. And I didn't get any notification either. It's so many things you have to keep straight.
Yeah, it's the whole process. I find it's fair. You know, the rule is rule. It's fair. She said, I thought I challenged my argument was, it's like you cannot. I asked you to change address, you did not change.
Right.
They said it's still not. If they send you a wrong address, it's not even their fault. You still your own responsibility every year. Okay, if that's
you put a recurring event on your calendar.
Yeah, something like that.
Do it. No, really. That's what I do with stuff like that. Like every January 15th, you have a reminder in your calendar that deal with the car in big capital letters.
But do you drive? You said you don't drive in Montreal, right?
No. Well, I have Kaminoto. So if I have to take a long drive anywhere.
Nothing. Some people, my friend, try to rent that. Sometimes it's not that easy to find available one.
It's not. Especially like on summer weekends. Like you're not going to find a car last minute on a summer weekend. But if you do it in advance, then it's fairly reliable.
So how do you like the electric car now?
Well, the electric cars can't go very far without being charged, and that scares me. I would think it's a good concept, but I don't want to especially because when I get Kaminoto, it's usually to go a longer distance. So I usually get
I think that usually right now, the good one, if you full charge, probably give you at least 300 kilometers or between 300.
I feel like I looked at one of the ones on Kaminoto and it said 100.
No. Way above that.
I don't know.
A lot more than that.
There was a reason, because I remember Googling the number of kilometers that they gave me.
They improved the crazy.
Maybe not the Kaminoto ones though.
Commodore, they probably get the cheap ones.
Yeah, because I don't think it was 300. I think I would have done it if it was 300.
Yeah, more than 300 right now, easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
I've done the hybrid cars before, and they're amazing. I think I went to like Maryland on 1 tank of gas.
Yeah, hybrid.
Yeah.
Only thing right now, the electric cars, only issue is they're too expensive. That's all. The range is fine. The range they improve, but it's too expensive. Easily 50,000. Easily, the basic model, I guess. It's crazy.
So shall I tell you about why I might have to go to the Montreal courts? Shall I tell you about why I have to go to the Montreal courts potentially?
You went once or?
So do you know how I told you before our conversation started about having to move because of mold in my building?
The mold. You have to fight the landlord, right?
So it has been awful, like absolutely awful, because I started getting health symptoms actually a year ago, but I didn't realize until this summer I started to smell the mold, and I made the connection, and I started to realize that every time I left my apartment, I felt better. I went to Nicaragua. I went where everybody else has problems of health in Nicaragua. I was great. I went to, and this very specific problem, I went to New York, I went to Ottawa, I went to Toronto, and immediately my symptoms would be as they were, and I would leave the apartment, and a day later I would be feeling better. And so I started to realize, wait a second, I'm smelling mold now, and I've got these symptoms, and they get better when I leave the apartment. So then I'm like, shit, what am I going to do? Because I can't just tell my landlord, like, oh, I smell something. They're not going to, it comes and goes, you know? So I'm like, so I did a Petri dish test. I got a Petri dish, and I put it out and got an air sample in my bedroom, and then it started growing mold. Which, P.S., that will happen. Like, usually there's some mold floating around in the atmosphere, so it might be a harmless mold, so you have to know what kind of mold it is. But that was the whole thing. Like, at that point then, like, now I have to go to a lab. That's going to cost hundreds of dollars. So then I reach out to my landlord, and I'm like, look, I've been having these symptoms, and I have this Petri dish, and it's looking very suspicious, and I want to get it analyzed. Like, you know, what do you... So he totally gaslights me. Do you know the term gaslighting?
Yeah.
He never acknowledged the mold. He's like, oh, hi, Athena. I'm so sorry that, like, you're not feeling well. I'm thinking we'll renovate your wall. And I'm like, this was the wall that had already been renovating. And then I'm realizing last year they renovated into my wall, and the apartment was covered in dust from the rotten wood that was inside of the wall. And that's when my symptoms had started. And I'm like, wait a second, no, I think that's what started the first time. Also, how do you not remember that it was already renovated? Also, no, like, let's get a mold expert. Like, let's actually find out. And then I write to my neighbors. And I'm like, guys, you know, this is happening, and, you know, I'm fighting with the landlord about getting it done. I just wanted to let you know, like, that it might be a possibility there's mold in our building. And then my downstairs neighbor writes back. She says, I smell mold in my apartment. And I go downstairs, and it stinks. It stinks like, you know, when you walk into a room full of mold? Like, in my apartment, it was like this kind of weird smell that would come and go and hasn't even been around for a little while. In her apartment, it stunk, and there was water damage that had been painted over. So you could, like, see where the wall had, like, absorbed water. It was wet to touch, and she had actually had, like, a whole bunch of mold that she had tried to clean up. And then she's been getting nosebleeds, which I've been... So we had this whole thing. And so then I'm like, okay, I was the princess and the pea upstairs in my apartment. Like, I think that there's something wrong, but downstairs it's obvious. Like, you don't need to do any kind of test. You just look at it and you see. So he continues to blow me off, and I called the city. This is where, like, I might actually, the Tribunal Administratif du Logement, like, this is a thing. And they said, write him a certified letter where you tell him exactly what needs to be done, and then if he doesn't do anything, we send in an inspector. So I wrote him the certified letter, and it took 5 days to get from this neighborhood at P Concordia to Westmount. 5 days. So it gets to him in Westmount, and now I put him on notice that he's getting the letter, and now he's like, oh, I take this problem very seriously, and it was actually Unit 3. That's me, I'm Unit 3. It was Unit 3 that stopped me from doing anything, and I was like, wait a second. I never stopped you from doing something. I said, don't come and hammer holes in a wall that might potentially have hazardous things inside of it. call in a mold expert. And so then he starts saying that he's talked to his expert. His expert is his contractor who wants to renovate the building and kick us all out so that he can then charge more money to somebody coming in. So he sends my neighbor an illegal notice saying that he'll raise her rent by $900 if she doesn't leave immediately, and giving her like, oh, it's been a thing. So now I'm moving, and on my way out, the city will go after this guy because the number of illegal things that he was doing and the way that he treated my neighbor in the basement, who has cancer, by the way.
Wow.
And so she's downstairs, like living in mold, breathing it and getting like, and her health was problematic as well. Oh God, it's been awful. So that's why I might go to the court in Montreal. Thanks for listening to my story.
Yeah, that's what are they gonna? The landlord is, I guess, responsible. There could be some have to be penalized.
So what the landlord should have done, number one, from the beginning, he should have called a mold expert. Number two, he's supposed to pay for us to stay somewhere else while he can renovate the building. Like that, he's not supposed to just be like, oh, I have to renovate, because he's also trying to act like he can renovate while we're still in the building, which we can't. We're already having health symptoms just from the mold that's floating around. Can you imagine if they're like sawing into, like we're talking a really old heritage building in Montreal, right? That was built in the 1800s. It needs all of this work, and the workers are going to be at risk. Like you're not actually supposed to just, you need to know what's going on when you have mold, because it's like, even a KN95 mask isn't going to be enough at some point. So instead of like finding us another place to live and fixing the problem and then allowing us to come back, he's trying to say, well, if you don't leave, I'm going to raise your rent by a third.
But what is the letter from? What is the committee of logement? What they say?
So I haven't talked directly to them yet. This has been talking to the city, I guess 311. But what they said I needed to do was get the certified letter with the signature, like that he signed for it. So I had to make sure that I got the copy of the signature, and then something else, like a photograph of me sending I don't know. It's like 3 things that they need. And once they have that, then they'll come in and hopefully tell him what to do. But he's a smooth talker, this guy. He's very charming, and he's like, oh, I take the problem so seriously, very seriously, but then like doing a bunch of illegal shit. So I don't know that, but it was illegal. They did tell me that it was illegal for him to do the like threaten the rent increase like that, and that would be a tribunal de logement thing. Tribunal.
But you are moving already, or?
So the thing is, I couldn't wait because I started, my symptoms were like weird and not very pleasant, but not very, like, I don't want to go into detail because, but like, I started coughing last week, like very badly, and my, like my breath caught, like I would inhale, and then as I'm exhaling, it was like all tight. And so I was like, I can't stay here anymore. And already before that, because like what's going to happen next? Either he's going to try to renovate while I'm in the place, or he's not going to do a good job trying to find me like another place to be. And meanwhile, like what about all of my things? I don't even know. It's now covered in who knows what. Like I might have to throw stuff out. So I started making plans, and I'm moving on Thursday. So it's good we had this meeting now.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'll be out of
Which area you moved to? Yeah.
So I'm moving to like more, well, I'm going to be in the plateau-ish, but I'm going to also start to spend a lot of my time in Gatineau. So I'm actually going to be out of, far. I know, I'm going to be out, it's like a bit of a shift from outside of Montreal. So I'll have like a home base here, but I'm not going to be here all the time.
That's not easy.
No, and it's been in the middle of my busiest season. I had to cancel a lot of things for work. I almost had to cancel this conversation, but I didn't want to, and I'm glad that we made it happen. But I've been like losing my mind because all of a sudden I had to pack up my entire 3.5, like that I made my home, and I was planning, if plans worked out. I was like, I'll move into my forever home after this. So I collected a few things.
But if you move to Gatineau, you have to kind of buy or rent a car, right?
Yeah,
That area is a bit
it's
remote.
well, the area that I'm looking is like right across from Ottawa, and I might be able to deal with public transportation more, but
Oh, got to know. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought it was Shutter-gate.
oh yeah, different.
Oh, sorry.
No, maybe prettier. I would ideally one day I live in a cabin in the woods. That's my, and then I will have a car if I'm
I
gonna.
heard a lot of good things about Cartagena. That's it's like cross the near the, but it's still part of Quebec.
It's
right?
still Quebec. Yeah.
A lot of people, even my old neighbor, like 10, 15 years ago, the couple moved there, retired.
Yeah.
Really a beautiful place.
Yeah.
But how's your business doing? How's your like this life?
Good is yes, thank God. Yeah.
So it's like all it's commission based, right? It's not like a permanent or.
Yeah. Well, I am. Nothing's permanent. I have. I've been working for York University for a few years, and that has been pretty steady. But you never know. Like next year, who knows if I would teach for them again? I would be willing to, or I would want to if they want to. But you never know if like what's going to happen. But yeah, that's the scary part of my job, because it's all like me deciding what projects to take when, and there's the risk of underbooking and there's the risk of overbooking, and yeah.
But do you want to, or like is easy to go to academic or something schools like in the school system?
Like to teach in the school system?
That would be like a lot of people saying they have a lot of free time.
I know my dad was a professor. We have that joke, because there was one point I was like, Dad, how's the one class that you're teaching going for you? No, I wouldn't want to do full-time academia. And the thing is to get there is very hard. To get to that place where you have the one class is very hard. And usually like you end up having like 5 or 6 classes as like an adjunct professor or something like that. I love teaching, but I mostly teach for myself. And then I decide what classes I'm going to offer and when I'm going to offer them. And it's on my schedule, and I like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So for me, probably I cannot deal with that. Some people, you have to be really like risk-taking, you kind of more relaxing.
Yeah.
There's uncertainty, a lot of uncertainty.
It is a lot of uncertainty. And my personality doesn't deal well with uncertainty. It's been a learned experience.
Yeah, you train yourself over time.
Yeah.
But you're gonna your plan is stay in Canada, right? Not.
Yeah. I like it here.
More relaxing.
Yeah, I like the politics better, and I like the.
But do you miss your family or parents?
I do. I miss them, but I'm actually closer to my family than my siblings on the West Coast. Like I have brothers out in California and Montana. Okay. They're further away from my parents in New Jersey than I am. My mom just came to visit me. It was an hour flight.
But do you guys get along a lot because it's always like interesting, like the American or the Western family, like the siblings. I don't think they are very, but for Chinese setting, the family siblings is very, very close, like mafia close.
There's 5 of us.
Okay.
In my family, 5 children, and it's interesting. It's interesting politically speaking.
But also if you are age close, and then probably a lot of jealousy, a lot of envy, a lot of that kind of stuff. Getting along not easy.
I don't know about that. I think that we do. I mean, obviously when we were kids we fought, but as adults we generally haven't. But there's definitely been drama I might tell you about off camera at another time.
And also, also in the United States, you have a lot of, as you mentioned, maybe the political different views.
It's been a problem, and especially since COVID, it tore our family apart. Yeah.
COVID, in China also, we have several topics we call kind of ruin your friendship boats.
Yes.
Seriously, one thing is Chinese medicine. Somehow, in our social society, classmates is very close relationship. Even you're not connected, whatever. But if you stay 4 years together, classmates, you somehow you feel very close to each other, like a family, extended family. So even after graduation, you always like group chat or stay together. But like some topics like COVID one, another is like the Chinese medicine.
Yeah.
Some people it's a traditional medicine.
Yeah, no.
Some people feel really proud. Some people feel like it's not science based.
Right.
You know, like.
Sorry, no, I just keep going. I hadn't thought it though.
Several years ago, if you mention this in the group, and then like some people just really mad. They don't want to talk to you anymore.
Wow.
Just like we call the boat. Always we call friendship boat. Somehow in Chinese friendship boat, the boat is burned.
Is friendship boat an actual phrase, or is it just?
Yeah, 友谊的小船.
Wow.
In Chinese, 友谊 is friendship. 小船 is a little boat.
I love it.
We have a little boat of friendship.
Yes, that burns.
Loaded with friendship.
So, do you know anything about Chinese medicine ionic foot baths?
Ionic
foot baths.
What?
So my mother and I went to a spa last week, and they told us like they have us put our feet in a bucket of water.
Yeah.
And then they put a little gadget into the bucket of water.
To get the bubble.
Yeah, and they're like, now the toxins are being drawn out. And so we're sitting there, and my mom's starts to turn nasty. Like, it turns like gold, orange, brown, sludge. There's like stuff skimming the surface, and supposedly these are the toxins coming out. Meanwhile, mine is staying clear, and at the beginning I was like, oh, that's because I have no toxins. But then I'm like, I don't know if it's working, because shouldn't mine look like... So I go downstairs and I tell the lady, and she's all grumpy and comes upstairs to help, and then she's like, oh, you're right, it's not working because it hasn't turned to sludge. So later I did it, and the same thing, I got like the gross... And afterward we were like, okay, but what was that really? And we don't know, because we checked the internet, and it's inconclusive. But
personally, I don't trust that.
Yeah,
we only in my parents or that generation.
Yeah,
always you have hot water.
Yeah,
like for food. That's help the circulation. That's all.
Yeah,
that's science, I believe.
Yeah.
Always hot water. That's nothing else. You put nothing in.
No gadgets.
Nothing at all. Just hot water.
Yeah.
Acupuncture, I believe, it's good. Acupuncture.
I was gonna say I'm actually supposed to go next week because for the mold symptoms I've been having.
Yeah, but I'm really myself never do that because I'm afraid of needle.
That's
crazy. Go this deep.
Oh.
Yeah, it's crazy. And another thing, real is the Athena massage. The real, not the the back massage.
Yeah.
The good name, the professional is called Athena. That means that the Athena, the Chinese name for that thing. It's really, they need to relax your muscle underneath.
Yeah.
It hurts. If it doesn't hurt, it means you have no issues. The joints, like underneath the muscle, they put the points, like the palm to press, it's flat, right? It's less.
Is it called Twina?
Twina, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just less pressure from your arm. But your elbow, it's a little bit more pointy.
Yeah.
The worst case is the knuckle.
Uh-huh.
That one, you just scream.
God.
Yeah, it's really, but they find your spot, for example, they all have that map of the body. If some point, for example, if they press in and you feel really pain, that means somewhere wrong.
Where can I get this? Where do I go? Do they have it in Montreal?
Yeah, they always, but they all talk a lot. A lot of them, they keep talking like 1 hour session nonstop.
Oh, wow.
They always say they are the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, usually, if you're really healthy, you move like doing yoga or doing the running, that thing. Most probably you don't have any pain point. They said pain point. If you don't have pain point, it's good.
I'm sure I have pain point.
Yeah. They try to find the pain point.
Yeah.
That really hurts. But after that, the theory is to disperse the liquid or something accumulated around the area. That's why you get the pain.
Yeah.
Because it's blocking or like bulging some that area. You don't know, but there's a liquid fluid.
Just talking about it, I'm like feeling all of it.
That's a thing I really like.
Nice.
But other things, it's like that's why if you talk about this with your Chinese friend or classmates, some they really feel offended. They say like you don't take serious about our tradition, the pride. It's a pride. Another thing is like 2018, end of that, the Canada arrested like the CFO of the big company,
Oh,
the lady.
yes, I remember
in
that.
Vancouver.
Yeah.
From the request from United States
Right.
extradition.
Right.
So that
What was her, Sarah? What was her name?
No, it's the Chinese Meng Wanzhou.
Okay.
It's the CFO.
I don't know why I was doing Sarah.
That topic is crazy. Also, kill your friendship. Yeah. But for United States, a lot of it's very interesting. The family is like something really traditional, the conservative, something really liberal.
My family is a weird mix of both. Yeah.
Usually, I guess they should be all of them, the whole family liberal, whole family conservative.
Yeah, we're like most of us would probably identify along one party platform, and then one of my siblings would not. But also,
but what is the difference between them? Nothing much different. Actually, it's just like they're all the same.
It's like 5 hot button issues. Like that's what it is. It's like there's the economy, there's abortion, there's the economy and abortion. That's what it is.
The economy it's just like, but it's not big difference.
Well, and like immigration is another one.
But immigration is common sense. Like Canada is the best. It's not the best, but it's common sense. I came here through the merit system. You have a background of the education background and then how many working experience, the
same.
age,
you
have language skill. That's all.
Okay, but how do you decide how many people to let in and who to let in?
But as long as you go through the process, but right now the border issues, like the open border issues, like for people outside the United States, they find it's very, very unreasonable.
Right.
You cannot open like that. That's the common sense.
Well, it's about inequalities, and then because the line that is sold is don't let immigrants in because they'll take the opportunities that you should have.
No, you go through the legal, H-1B. A lot of people, you go through, everybody go through.
So it's common sense for you, but it's not common sense for everyone.
that's the issue. That's why people don't have the common sense.
Well, because but the answer is it's really hard to see past your own situation.
Yeah, but it's not fair to the people waiting years for that. Also,
who's thinking about those people? No one. Like that's the problem.
That's
people
why
don't
people
think beyond themselves.
Yeah. Because when you, if you go to from Canada, they may shoot you. If you go through the border, right? That's common sense because you are illegally entering another country,
right?
And the first act is illegal.
Yeah.
What do you expect? It's if you give them more rights, it's not fair to the local residents. But not fair to the other immigrants.
Right.
The Canada is very fair. I guess it's a common sense.
Yeah.
It's like we wait. A lot of people wait for 5 years to come to Canada. Even we went to the test, the interview, it's a Quebec system. Quebec has a special status, right? As you go through that too, they're gonna say how many points you get for the French language and how many points get the English language. They give you the score right away.
Yeah.
I went with my wife, so that's fair. If we fail, we fail. They don't want us. They don't want us. They want. But if you open the door to anybody, the people just go in and then it's a common sense. Economy is the same. The difference is small. Some people they said big government, some smaller government.
Right.
As long as you spend the money wise, clean, right?
Yeah.
Fair, the difference is very small. It's conservative or the progressive, liberal. It's just spend more or less. It's not big difference. It's not worth a fight, right? I don't. The abortion is a big thing because the Catholic, right?
And Christian in general.
Christian in general. It's it's some people you just compromise a little bit. You don't ruin your friendship. Your boat has to float.
Well, that's the problem. Is making it. It should be about us having dialectic, having dialogue and conversation and seeing things from each perspective and learning and growing. That's what it should be. But instead it becomes, I have my whatever that I'll die on and you have your thing that you'll die on.
It's crazy.
And to the death.
The difference between, it's only 60-40. That's you're a little bit this side, you're a little bit that side. You are not 50-50, maybe 40-60. On other issues you're 40. But you still have friendship. They change the parties every 4 years, and then things gonna get even out. The abortion is a big thing.
I remember one year I voted one way and my ex voted another, and we just ruled each other out.
It's very, very interesting because like abortion is a big thing.
Yeah.
It's but the really reasonable people are gonna find common ground as well for
Yeah.
the abortion thing. You know, it's
If they'll listen to each
yeah,
other.
yeah. But like for me, like I grew up in China, religion is never a thing for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's easier for us to side with the like a liberal side.
Yeah.
It's more like very, very easy for us naturally.
My mom growing up was very like honest about her like her concerns about abortion, but never to the point where it should be illegal. Like more like let's look at, because what ends up happening is you take one extreme side or the other, and I'm very pro-choice, and I will say that for many reasons that I could elaborate on. But I saw my mom's point in that, like, you can't. There's validity to both sides, and there is validity to like, okay, what is human life, and when does it start, and how do we value it? Now, there's also the thing of like, how about we value it in all of the places, like not just when it's inside the mother's womb, but also like, what about like making sure that this child can thrive after it's born? But basically being like, it can be traumatic and difficult for somebody to have an abortion, and that is true. So that's true, but at the same time, like that doesn't mean that you should then legislate them.
And also, yeah, the other you mentioned the poverty thing. It's really shocking. Like some neighborhood, they really, the country is so rich. Why don't they spend money on the education for those financial support of education? To some neighborhood, if they grew up like really bad neighborhood, the chance they treat other people nice is very low.
Yeah.
So that's really, really interesting because like they should spend a lot of money on the education instead of on military or other things.
Yeah.
It's if you have everybody kind of, at least you have like till before college, you all should be free. You know, the education should be all free. If you have let the young people like when they're 12, 15, they have their place to go to the school. They don't feel like they're left behind or they had nothing to lose. If you feel you have nothing to lose or nothing to hope for, it's really bad, really, especially the teenage time. You know, you have all crazy ideas. And one thing, everybody does some bad things. If you accumulating the bad things, you have no way to turn back. It's very crazy. That's the policy really. That's the policy. Canada is better than United States. Canada, even I think it's very, very. There's not so many bad neighborhood. You know, it's the people here really like. It's more like evenly distributed. If you work, make a little bit effort, you can make a living.
Yeah.
It's not too hard. The education is free. The healthcare also.
The daycare. My brother has a child in like daycare age, and the amount of money they have to pay for daycare versus like my friends here who can, it's like almost nothing.
But Quebec and Ontario is different. Ontario about $1,000 a month. Quebec is only $8 $8 or $7.
Yes. Yeah.
Quebec is really amazing. It's called CPE.
Yes.
Yeah.
Early childhood.
Yeah, that's why it's pretty good in Canada overall. It's kind of United States is very weird for me. Like when I listen to those kind of, you see the people, because I came from the poor village. We had nothing to lose when I was a child. A lot of my buddies, some of them killed. Like I was lucky to go to school, but they just dropped out after 9 years. They even did not spend time learning in the first 9 years. Yeah. so they went to cities. Did some behave bad, some behave good, and some of them died. End up in police, somebody stepped dead. The kind of crimes. But you know, the people rough. If you grew up bad, you kind of that's your adaptation. People really became really tough, rough people. So like the United States, you have so much money. You know, you can print money for free.
Yeah, it turns out.
Yeah, and then like a lot of neighborhoods, they need to really focus on that thing instead of fighting
Yeah.
the ideology thing, fighting left or right.
Yes.
It's very easy to fix for them.
Talking and listening. I had an idea for a podcast at one point, actually, which was just to do that, like to get people from different sides, like different points of view, and just talk, like you and I are doing now.
No, that's a bad idea. I tell you, that must, if you, even you have good intention, even you think you're mild,
Yeah.
you can upset a lot of people.
Uh,
So that's what, I use like a Twitter as well. I see that, people crazy, a lot of, but that's their job.
Yeah.
They say crazy things to get attention, get followers.
Yeah.
And then they can monetize also.
Right.
So that's
to be controversial.
Yeah,
on
exactly.
purpose.
So that's the game.
So is that why we're talking about all of the politics now?
No,
we
are very mad.
I hope so. I don't know. I'm thinking like.
No, I try not to, but I follow a lot. But I don't think it's a good idea to have a lot of crazy ideas.
Yeah. Well, but the problem is whose definition of crazy, Because one person's crazy is another person's common sense.
I'm right in the middle. Because seriously, I see a lot of different systems.
Yeah.
The China system, Canadian system, and the United States. They're on the spectrum. Like,
yes.
Let me see, what is that? My observation is, economic system is United States and China. They are very extreme, both on different ends.
Yeah.
But Canada is in the middle. Politically, China is very different. Canada is overall very progressive compared to the United States.
Very.
Yeah, very, very progressive.
Yeah.
But United States always has a good system. It's the state has a lot of power. That's very, very unique.
Yeah.
But Canada, even you see different provinces, but they more or less the same. Alberta is a little bit different, maybe more on the right side, conservative side.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, if the way they treat the COVID, all the provinces exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's like that time we were looking for some people made mistakes.
Yeah.
It's the Premier of Montreal, Quebec, and then Premier of Ontario. I guess the fall it's Doug Ford, right?
Yeah. Yep.
One time he was, because they always look at the numbers of the cases and then the death or the fatally ill or the severely ill. So one time maybe he was doing well at the beginning. So these two premiers, you can feel like they're in a race, doing a race. So one time the Ontario was the Doug Ford was became a little bit cocky. He thought my number pretty good.
Yeah.
He relaxed the whole policy for 2 weeks.
Right.
Then the number went up crazy.
Yeah.
So he apologized right away. He did a conference, whatever, lockdown right away.
Yeah.
And then you see the premier of Quebec felt really pretty good. Look at the other guy.
Yep. Oh man.
Yeah, it was a little show during that time.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah, but overall they are very restrictive. All of the places.
Yes.
But
my friends in the U.S. were complaining, and I was in Canada, and I was like, "You guys don't even."
Yeah,
know.
you don't. Yeah, exactly.
They're like, "We live in a dictatorship." I was like, "You're having parties on Sunday." They're like, "But we're not allowed to invite more than 20 people."
No, we had a curfew.
I know. I remember.
Yeah, we had a curfew. Even 8 o'clock. 8 in the afternoon. The sun's still in the sky. The sun was not setting.
Well, and you remember 2 days before New Year's Eve, I think it was 2022.
Oh yeah, I remember that. A lot of restaurants really hit up.
Yeah.
They had a reservation. They prepared the especially some vegetables.
Specials. And your food's gonna go bad.
Yeah, go bad. For the meat, you can put in the freezer, but the vegetables all the.
Did the government compensate you?
I don't think so. But the problem for us, always we can do deliveries. But the high-end restaurants, the steakhouse. You go to Costco, buy $20 the premium steak. You do a lot better.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Yeah, Which year? That right before the New Year.
I think it was 2022.
Yeah, that's really crazy. They just
Yeah.
start locking down this.
Yeah, and I had all my friends went to Mexico that year. I was getting all these New Year's Eve messages from people who were partying in Mexico because Mexico didn't care. They were like, "Send everyone the COVID. We'll take the COVID."
It was really amazing. Yeah, that's why it's in the United States. The different states, they had really different policies.
Yeah.
COVID was.
No, I lost some friendship votes.
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But we never talk about that. I never talk about that thing with COVID with friends.
Yeah.
Because we're all the same. We just be safe.
Yeah.
And we survived.
Yeah. We did.
But all the people I know, we never lost anyone.
Yeah.
All my friends, they're fine, including me.
Yeah, well, maybe it's a grand conspiracy, you know.
But we did. We have two friends. They're in their 50s. Their parents, they were really old. They were in the hospital care at the time.
Yeah.
Once they get the vaccine, within 1 week, both of them passed away.
Oh my God.
Yeah, too old. But it's a relief also for the family,
Yeah.
I believe. It's there with the bad condition.
Yeah.
But it's not wise to give them vaccine because vaccine is still something to work your body up.
Yeah.
And then when they were in that condition, I don't think it's a good idea to give extra work for the body. So they passed away in a week for the after vaccine.
You have to weigh the risks because you have to be like, okay, I'm going to be more susceptible to something from the vaccine, but I'm also more susceptible to COVID if I get it. So there's like the percentage risks involved.
Yeah,
math.
when I guess one very close family member, the old lady was already in the hospital for more than a year.
Yeah.
And so the condition is really bad already. So it's like a candle in the wire.
Yeah.
And any breeze is gonna blow up the candle, and you give them the injection. Give her injection.
But at the same time, like devil's advocate here, remember at the very beginning of the pandemic, the CHSLDs, they were like wiping out, like because COVID was going through that population like crazy.
Even they deserted, right? Remember the nurses, they deserted the.
Yeah, and like a lot of people died. Like
the soldier came they came to take over. Because
who did?
The soldiers, the army.
Oh,
Remember
I don't remember.
That happened both in Quebec and Ontario.
Yeah.
Some of the nursing homes, they just deserve the workers they felt risk.
Wow.
They just took off.
Wow. And just left all of these old people on their own.
Some people, they were like some old people, they were lying on their bed for 2 days. Nobody cleaned them.
Oh, that's awful.
On the floor 2 days or something. There was a report, but nobody read.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I think we all forget how scary it was because, like, it very quickly, like, because at the beginning it was scary. It was scary, and a lot of people were dying.
That's how the Governor Cuomo lost his job. Remember the Cuomo?
Oh, in New York.
Yeah, New York. The Cuomo, at the beginning he was hero, and then they found out he purposely signed a paper to send the infected people to the old residents, for the long-term care residents. So a lot of old people died because of that. I don't know the details. He resigned because of this.
Yeah, I thought that it was like something else, like some kind of. I didn't think it was a COVID-related scandal.
No, COVID.
Yeah, okay.
Thousands of old people died because they knew the hospital workers, the nurse, they were infected. They're working there. They sent those nurses to those kind of long-term care residents. Yeah. That's how he lost his job. Too much pressure.
Yeah.
At that time. It's that time all this but for us we were fine. Young people at that time, even I remember the May of 2020, a lot of people stopped caring anymore.
Yeah. It was after a few months.
We always went to I always went to the vegetable place to get the boxes of vegetables, and it was freezing cold, and you have to wash hands. And there's one store. Yeah. It's a wholesale place, right? They install the sink outside of the house.
Oh,
that's
God.
the April. Yeah, April and the beginning. beginning of April, end of March,
Yeah.
and they did not have hot water yet.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so they did provide soap, so you wash, and it's super cold. Then after only 1 month, the plumber or whatever, they came to did provide hot water. Then that time was fine.
Yeah.
But then nobody cared.
Yeah.
That's so when you buy like a lot of boxes of vegetables, right?
Yeah.
When you are checking out,
Yeah.
you pay, they give you order, the salesman gave you order and you go pay. And then at the when you leave, there's always a guy to check the items a box is correct or not, right? That's an old guy, at least in his 60s. That guy, in the beginning of May already, he's not wearing masks. So by the rules, you have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
So he put a mask like here to here.
I never understood that. Yeah.
So all the people working in the store, everybody put it here. So they just, I'm following rules, that's all. Nobody even cared.
So they called the chin diaper.
Yeah, chin diaper. Yeah, that's the May already. So only 2 months after the pandemic. Nobody cared.
Well, I feel like the mask mandate started in May or June, didn't it?
Yeah, May already.
Yeah.
Some people even report them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. If you not wearing properly, people report you or you even not wearing. That old guy, fine. I guess he's family of the business. Because it's the last check of the rest of the store. So So then I feel like, wow, those people, I was really nervous that time. I was everything. I was, when I go into that, because I go every week, then they just put like this. I did not feel comfortable.
No. I was in Ontario at the beginning. I was in Toronto. And then like right at the beginning, because I was finishing my master's degree. And so I had to leave early and come back. And it was so funny because Ontario people were freaked out. Like everybody was like nervous and looking at it like, where's the virus? And I got back to Montreal and like nobody cared. It was a very big difference.
It's very, but even after that, I don't know they have the official review, like the measures they took was effective or necessary or not.
Right.
So like after even the United States, they did not stop. They're not talking about that.
It's true. Like, where's our preparedness for next time? No, it'll be a shit show again.
Or like, but the big thing also, you are safe, but you lost your business also, especially small business. So that's why you have the different states. You can tell how they were doing during the whole thing. Yeah. You have the New York, California. It's like on the one side. You have Florida, Texas on the other side. So people, they even don't compare, or they don't review like who's doing better or who's reasonable.
Right, because we're not like trying to learn and grow together. That's the problem.
This is very interesting. But it's family members. What do you think? Like among your siblings, they can have very different political views. What is the school they go to or the friends they have? How come like they have different views? That different. I guess it's very different.
I don't know. Because we were all raised very similarly, but also across a span of 13 years. So my sister is the oldest. My brother's the youngest.
Maybe the school they go to, different school or the different jobs.
It's definitely like choices we made in our adulthood and people we were exposed to.
That's the influence. Of people.
It is. People influence people.
That's why parents always...
be careful.
With like some friends you don't hang with.
No, because you do. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like the nature versus nurture thing too. Like we're all born with a particular.
But also when you look at when you exposed to different sorts of podcasts or news channels or something, you get or not, you don't know, but somehow you changed your mind changed by the host or the guest on the.
That's why to my point earlier about like challenging the idea that there is a truth or the idea that the game is set up in a fair way.
It's always changing. Even the game always changing.
When you challenge and the thing is, some structures should be challenged, like capitalism, for example. Like, sure, let's all live in capitalism, but then let's give people the tools to use capitalism effectively. Like, why, like, especially people who grow up poor should learn how to use money, and like, and it shouldn't be like more expensive. Like, it's harder for me to send money to the people who need it in Central America than it is to the people who don't need it in the US because of privilege. And so, like, structures do need to be questioned, but you need to agree on overarching truths. And if you poke a hole in everything, then you can just believe whoever you find on the internet. Like, there needs to be a way of being like, okay, well, we can trust this expert because they have this knowledge and we trust it for whatever reason. But if you start to pull out the mechanisms that allow us to trust people in the first place, that's my platform.
I mean, the whole system is changing also. You see the American system, they're very different from Europe. That's the progressive, right? It's progress, at least. The parliamentary system from British. Comparing to United, it's not very direct.
Yeah.
It's more representative. At least United States is more representative. The people you select the House or the Senate, they do have a lot of power, but they are directly elected. Yeah. So that's like really powerful. Also, the president has a lot of power.
A lot.
And the system evolving. Also, the Constitution. For us, when I read the Constitution, not fully the whole text, and I know some content of the text, it's really amazing. Yeah. Yeah, you look at the Constitution, they know. I guess it's like they say people have the power to overturn the government if they did a bad job or they oppress you. Yeah. That never happened in the whole people's history, right?
No, it's very cool.
Yeah, it's very, very cool, very different, because they're not kings.
Yes.
Right? But our tradition, the Chinese tradition, have thousands of years. So we're always looking for somebody taking care of us. Yeah. It's in our mindset. We're always looking at some people very gentle, very nice, very powerful, very capable, and he's taking care of all. Yeah. You know, it's collective. We're very collective thinking. Yeah. So,
it's very the individualism versus
exactly.
Thinking is a big thing.
And in the United States, I don't listen to you. Who are you? You know, they don't trust the government authority. Yeah, it's like healthy, but for us, it's But you know, we always look for power, like a strong man. We always have the desire for strong man. Yeah. If you are strong, we follow you.
Well, and I think we do too, but we don't want to admit it. I think human nature is
that, but the Constitution, everything, they tell you that from the top to say we don't trust the power. Yeah, that's the game changer. That's the difference to make. Yeah, for us, we always follow the lead. Yeah, that's very fundamental. They give you every day. You're thinking the mindset is. That's why I guess the Japan, Korea, and China, we have Confucius system. Right. It's always like obey the rules. Yeah. Like we look at the American, some people, you guys crazy. You just challenge everything. Yeah. But we don't challenge. It's like look at the Japan, how clean that. They are the best in the world. The clean city, people follow rules. Yeah. You know.
Not like Montreal.
But it's the Confucius system give you the idea is the hierarchy, the whole structure of the society. Yeah. But you don't have the interesting things anymore. You don't have the characters. Right. But United States, you have all kinds of characters.
You have definitely characters.
Yeah, you have dramas, every day. That's the progressive we see that. Yeah, we see that that's the system changing. Maybe the current system is not far from perfect. Yeah. But it's going to evolve too. Yeah. It will some after like 20 years say, let's change it a bit. Especially the social media time. Yeah. Social media changes everything. This is a challenge to a lot of countries as well, not only to the United States, to Canada, to all the countries in the world. It's a test to your system is up to the test or not.
Sorry, change the subject really quick. Should we put this away? I don't want it to
go. No, at the end.
It's all right for now. Yeah. To be out of the fridge. Yeah. Okay, I trust you as the food expert. I just don't want it to. I want it to be able to.
It will be good.
Be good later.
Yeah. So it's right now the social media is crazy. So this is gonna change a lot of things. Yeah. Especially you see the last 20 years, 10 years already. before the people like the regular people or the people want to be influential, they do not have means to be
Right.
influential.
Now you do.
Yeah, right now the people, crazy people. I always say, if you want to follow us, always be crazy. The regular people like us, nobody gonna, because you don't have crazy ideas. People are looking for crazy ideas. But at the same time, the crazy people have a lot of followers. They can have a lot of their voice is really big now on the internet. So that's the difference. Before you want to challenge if you want to challenge the power for people in office, you cannot.
Yeah.
Because you have to rely on the newspaper, you have to rely on the TV channels, because they all have good relationship with them already. If you say, oh, go to the newspaper to say, let's write some bad things about this mayor. Do you think newspaper gonna do that? Unless you are powerful also, unless you are the candidate already for the mayor or the opposition leader. Regular people want to say something, no way. But right now you can just throw out there on the internet. A lot of people say, oh, crazy, okay, let's pick up, let's retweet.
It's true.
Yeah, that's the influence, right?
Yeah.
It's but then the power gonna react to this,
Yeah.
You guys are challenging me, you guys are too influential, too powerful. So that's the thing you are seeing. That's why it's a very interesting time. Yeah, that's why I follow a lot of that thing to see. It's like a comedy.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I can do it. Like I say, I can do it in places that aren't mine. Like I'll follow in other places.
Okay. Something you want to add?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. As it is the food, we did not eat much, right?
We didn't eat a ton.
It's not a good idea to have this kind of.
Well, I felt bad chewing in people's ears. I hope that I wasn't like.
That's why I'm saying it could be a bad idea to eat and talk.
Yeah, possibly. No, it was delicious. Yeah. No, thank you for having me. It was really fun talking to you.
It's great to know you and then tell people story.
Yeah.
But another thing, do you feel very, very confident about the career or something? Because for me, I always think this is the right path for me. Always.
Oh, about my career. I thought I said Korea for a second. I was like, okay, we can talk about Korea. No, do I feel confident about my career?
Or the choices you make about I stay with this.
Yeah, my career is the one place in my life. Ask me about any other aspect of my life. No, I'm not very confident about it. But my career, because since I was very young, I've always tried to be like, okay, what do I love doing? And how can I offer the best of that to the world and earn money with it? And I've been able to get more and more particular as I've had more schooling and more experience, and people get to know me and they know what I have to offer and they like it. And so I've been really lucky in that respect. And which isn't to say I'll do the same thing that I do forever, but I'm also always changing things up. Yeah. So I do feel good about it, but I'm always I think part of it is that I've kind of made it that I can explore, leave room for other things. So yeah, I don't work 7 days a week, and then I can do something that I love and I can make money with it, but then I can also foster other things and potentially, because there are other things. You said you write, you could have writing. Yes. Right? Yeah.
Writing, right now the Substack is really popular.
Okay, yeah, that is true.
And Substack. Some people are really good at writing, so they make money by subscription, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of different things that you can do to get your writing out there.
I'm really surprised. A lot of people write books still.
Yeah.
Crazy. A lot of people.
I want to.
Yeah, even a lot of people writing. That's why I think the culture is very different. In China, I don't think people have any time reading. People just either watching videos or TikTok. Yeah. Originally from China, so people really
I don't read as much as I used to.
But here, when I came here, every small city, they have a library. In China,
that's true.
Nobody reading books. Nobody. Wow. It's it's not efficient. It looks like, but that's the thing is very traditional. I find the people in Canada, United States, very traditional. You still mail mails. mail
Mhm.
letters.
Hmm.
But in China, no. I guess post office is done.
Wow.
Yeah, it's done 10, 20 years ago.
Wow. You can't send a letter?
You can, but people don't.
I
It's very, very rude.
mean, very few people send letters. I
Yeah.
can't even tell you the last
But-
time I got a letter.
Yeah, but here, the government always send you letters.
Oh, I see.
But
yeah.
in China, no.
Oh.
It's very, so that's why some
See, I don't call those letters. I don't know what I would call them. Mail.
Yeah,
The
mail,
government
yeah,
sends me mail.
yeah. So even like that's why some tradition is kept here.
Yeah.
The reading, especially the reading, I find it's amazing. So
Interesting.
people write a lot of books. I guess in China, if you write a book, and then you really think about your career.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So nobody's gonna buy your book.
Yeah.
What about like really famous people? They won't buy their biography. or something?
Only top. Maybe Michelle Obama's book
Yeah.
can sell.
Wow.
Other people, people just feel like it's wasting of time.
Yeah.
But people here also like they like reading. That's really amazing.
Yeah.
But reading is like make you wise. It's really sometimes you have to take the information slowly.
Yeah. I have a much shorter attention span now than I used to. Like I think it's harder for me to read now than it was.
But another thing, maybe a little bit personal, if you don't want, you don't have to answer. Like you still like you don't have family right now, right?
Oh, here?
Yeah. No, I mean like your own family.
Oh yeah, no.
But that's the culture there as well. Do your parents they talk to you or give you a little bit pressure or?
So luckily I'm one of 5. And
So they have attention to others.
yeah, like they already have 10 grandchildren, or like 9 with one on the way. So there isn't like pressure on me to have children. And I did get married twice, and neither time really worked out. So I don't think my parents are rushing for me to like go into another marriage right now.
Okay.
So I'm kind of off the hook. Yeah.
In China, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
They're gonna over your shoulder all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, in your ears.
It definitely, like, culturally you feel it here too, but I think it's probably more intense in China.
Yeah, very, very big topic there.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, I guess we can wrap up here.
All right.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for having me.